Hey, Bill. So I heard there's only 13 of these
Yes.
left.
Yes, there's only 13 left.
And we're lucky to have it here at Castle Air Museum.
Yes,
So tell us
and,
the history about this.
Well, this airplane we got from South America. And after the war, it went down there and spent some time with a couple of different air forces. And then when they were done with it, they took it apart, and then we received it, and we actually received it in sections.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was converted over to a transport airplane or a cargo airplane. And so the front that you see just had a big door on the front. And the restoration guys basically took the airplane, put it back together, and put it back into World War II combat configuration.
Wow, that must have taken some time.
It did. It took like a dozen years to do it. It was painstakingly done, but it's complete now. There's a few things missing on the inside, but basically it's all there. It is an M model B-24, which is the last real production B-24. And these airplanes, when they were built, a lot of them at the end of the war, went from the assembly line right to the scrapyard. They got maybe 20 hours on them.
Why?
Well, because they were contracted. Consolidated was contracted to build the airplanes, and they were paid for they paid for it. But the war ended while the production lines were still going.
Wow.
So the government said, let's go ahead and let's just mothball them, and then they eventually end up scrapping them. You could find these $50,000 at the end of the war. You could buy one.
Wow.
Some of them were turned into fire bombers, not too many, because they liked the B-17 because it had a little more heavier bomb load. But these have the 1820 motors on them, and they were really good. They were a great airplane. They were a heavy bomber, mainly used in Europe and over Nazi Germany, and Italy.
And I heard this was made in 10 months?
Yes.
From production, from like a drawn on the paper to being...
From start to finish, they had it drawn up and actually run on the assembly line within 10 months.
Wow.
But it was the war effort. There was no restrictions, there was no red tape. Roosevelt said, build things to kill the enemy, and that's exactly what they did. And this was one of them, Now this airplane was built by Ford Motor Company at Willow Run in Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah. So during the war, they when the War Act came in, all car production ceased, except for a few. And Ford Motor Company turned a lot of their assembly plants over from building cars to building airplanes.
And how many people could fit in there?
This was a 10-man crew, and some B-24s actually even had 13 to 14 guys.
So what mainly all did this carry?
This is a bomber.
So how many bombs could it fit in?
I think it carried a max bomb load of, I believe it was 9,000 pounds.
So 9,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So most everything was just people and bombs that this could carry.
Yeah, machine guns. Yeah, it's got a quadrant of 13 50 caliber machine guns, and it depends upon which variant it was. Some of them were 10, some of them were up to 13. But yeah, we're very, very lucky to have this, and we repainted the airplane here last year. And I know it doesn't look right now because we had rain last few days, and it's harvest time, and we have so much dirt in the air. But it did receive a fresh paint job a year and a half ago, and it really looks nice when it's washed. Yeah.
Is this open for open cockpit day?
We don't open it because it's so rare, but we do have a big stand which we put right here up, and you can look into the cockpit.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and then this 2 years ago, we replaced the glass on the turret, the front turret. It had cracked, and we're having some issues with it, so we replaced that. And so we've kind of done a lot of work to it over the last year and a half.
And then the ammunition, who would run the ammunition? Because I see it's like there's ammo on every...
Yeah.
Everywhere around.
Well, each gunner was responsible for the ammunition. So they would load the ammunition in the airplanes, the ground crews were, and then the gunners would actually load their own guns.
And it seems like they'd have, because you said it's a 10-man crew, it's almost like they needed that many people just for the ammo.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was. Well, you have one guy up in the turret.
Yeah, there's one.
One, two. So you have the bottom turret, and then you have the tail turret, and then you've got both waist gunners.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a lot. And then at each gun, they had, just boxes of ammunition. And so when they were out, they would reload.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's so impressive.
Yeah. So that's the story with that. And we've had the airplane since 1981.
Wow.
When the museum really first started. And it was originally parked over there where the SR-71 is, and then we decided to bring it on this side of the gate because of the rarity of it.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us today. Remember to like and subscribe.
There you go.